This is Polykill, where two men, outnumbered by their games and at war with time, undertake the quest of defeating their lengthy backlogs. Please adjust your seat and prepare your ears for the banter of your hosts, Jake and Travis.
Hello once again, everybody. Welcome to an all-new episode of the Polykill podcast. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Travis, and I'm sitting across from the broast with the most, Jake.
Sure, broast
Hello,
with
Jake.
the most. I was fully expecting broast with the toast because it is kind of still in the AM.
Yeah?
You know, toast is usually a breakfast food.
Typically?
Yeah, I know you serve it like in Texas with steak. You know, Texas toast.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's
But-
avocado toast. I think that goes at any point in the
Right.
day.
You got to put a fidget spinner on it though.
Is it just because it's trendy?
Right.
Ah. Well, okay then.
Which, you know, that's not even trendy anymore. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, when's the last time you saw a fidget spinner?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Good. Good, though.
Good riddance.
Glad that's over. Yeah. All right. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little not tired, but a little not under the weather, but you know, not tired, but you know, not under the weather.
What are you? What are you right now?
I'm currently trying to caffeinate because you know, I'm not tired. You know, I'm not.
We do have to do some drugs to make the show.
Yeah,
work.
we have to do actually a decent amount of narcotics to get enough energy to do the show.
Yes.
People don't realize that.
They don't, and it's part of the struggle.
It is.
But we set aside our Sunday mornings to get blitzed
Yeah.
and do the show.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're new to the show, this is basically it. We
Yeah.
talk about doing drugs, playing video games.
Right.
We try to have a little fun with both of those, and we don't really do the drug part. Caffeine is a drug, though.
It is.
It
so
is, technically.
Yeah, I feel like I'm well within my rights of calling this cup of coffee a big old drug.
I mean, you're addicted to it, so it's
I kind of am.
yeah.
Yeah, I need it.
Which is the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
All right. Well, if you're hearing this, there's some stuff out you can look at.
Yeah, you can reference for
Yeah.
other materials.
Yeah, there's going to be a pickup video coming out soon.
Yeah.
So by the time you listen to this, or at some point when you're listening to this over the next course of the next 2 weeks,
Right.
a pickup video that I made will be there. I also made a top 5 most valuable NES games video. I was tagged by Musty Hobbit of the Second Breakfast YouTube channel. That was a lot of fun to make. Made it kind of spooky.
Yeah, it was very good. I mean, very
Thank
well
you.
done. I
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make.
Good
I'd like to do more
production.
stuff like that. Yeah, it was okay.
It was funny.
Yeah, I'd like to do more stuff like that.
You should.
And, of course, we have more blogs over there on polykill.com. We've written a few more of those, so be sure to go over to our website and check out all that stuff.
Yeah, do it. Click on it. Scroll it.
Scroll it.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Recent pickups and on the radar. All right. So I picked up a couple games.
You did you?
And let me tell you a little bit of a story.
Okay. Tell us the story. Take us there.
I'll take you there. I don't know if there's any payoff for the story. I just need to tell it, you know?
Tell me.
You ever get that way?
Sure.
You just need to tell somebody a narrative that might not have a point or ending. You're just like, let me tell you something.
Right.
Well, let me tell y'all something.
Like you saw that old lady try for like 3 minutes to get the straw in her mouth, but she just never could.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no real climax to it.
Yeah.
It's funny and you have to relate it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you probably don't really convey it well, and you kind of had to be there to see it in the moment, but
Yeah.
you still need to tell somebody.
You got to tell somebody. So it's a story that's going to flop, but here we go. Okay,
Here we go.
So I have some store credit, or had some store credit, rather.
Okay.
With a game shop that's about 2.5-3 hours from me.
That's a decent little trek.
Yeah, and I used to visit it more often back when my parents were around because it was much closer to where I'm from.
Okay.
But since I've not had an opportunity to visit them, I still have the store credit, so I have to kind of find an excuse to kind of go down there to make good on this store credit.
Right.
I don't want the store to go under me with outstanding $100. You know,
Sure. No, that would be the worst.
So I want to kind of boil that down.
Yeah.
So we make the trip down. I know the store is open until 8 p.m.
Okay.
We head down. We leave about 5:30. Me and my nephew make the trip down.
So
Now, my
you-
nephew likes to go down there because the store owner is an interesting guy.
He's eccentric, I hear.
He's interesting. I'll just say that. I don't know
Okay.
about eccentric, but he's interesting.
Okay.
And I don't know that that's enough for me to ever want to travel 3 hours to go to a game store because my nephew's not interested in the games.
Right. Yeah. He's not about that life.
Yeah, I guess he enjoys spending time with me, and then also the payoff of seeing this weird guy is kind of in there. So anyway,
Fair enough.
we travel down, and it takes us, we made good time. We get there. We leave, I think, around 3:30, leave work a little early on
Okay.
Friday, get down there around 6.
Okay.
And,
A couple hours to spare.
Yeah, a couple
Peruse.
hours to spare, yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, and it's not looking good. I actually really have to pee. And so I'm like, let's go down. we'll hit a gas station, pee real quick, come back up, and then we can browse games for a little bit. But as we're going past the store, we're like, whoa, that doesn't look open. That doesn't look open.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. So I forego pee because now this is an emergency. We just traveled 2.5 hours to a closed store, right? So I make a U-turn, and I head back up the hill there and walk up, and not looking good from the outside.
Oh,
dark,
baby.
No lights. Still, it doesn't say that it's closed, but the door is locked.
Oh, damn.
There's a phone number, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to call this.
Yeah, see what happens.
So I give it a ring-a-ding,
Okay.
and as I'm calling, waiting for it to ring, my nephew points to this poster on the door that says Conapalooza with the dates in which we are standing in front of this, the date range, and it's like a 24-hour convention that's about 15-20 minutes away.
Okay.
And so he's like, I bet he's there. And I was like, I bet you're right. So he answers the phone, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm it's me." He kind of recognizes me. I was like,
Sure.
He knows I came a long way.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm standing in front of your store, and you're not here. I'm assuming you're over at the con. And he was like, "Ooh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I am. But you can come over here if you want. We'll be here for a while." He says the words "a while."
A while.
A while.
Okay.
Now
That's subjective.
yeah, and I'm seeing a poster on the door that says it's a 24-hour con. It's 6 p.m. I'm thinking he probably will be there a while.
Right. Unless it started at 5 yesterday.
Right. But unless it's like, I'm thinking he'll be there until at least late, right?
Sure.
24-hour con. You've taken some stuff over there. You're a vendor.
A while has been said.
Yeah, and you've said the words
A while.
a while.
Right.
So if you were going to run a con of any size or scope,
Right.
how late do you have your marketplace open on a Friday night?
Until people leave.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to shut down with people still around. So, I mean, obviously, if they're, just trickling around or you can tell they're just socializing and not interested in buying something. But yeah, I mean, 10:30, 11, I guess.
Would think that, yeah. 10:30 or 11. I would even allow a 9 p.m. if some of the shop owners want to get the bag and get there early in the morning. Maybe they want to have people there to make sure no one gets in there and steals things. But
right.
Would you think 7 o'clock would be too early?
7 would be a bit early.
For a Friday.
Yeah.
People are just getting in.
Yeah.
You had to work.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens. We drive all the way over there. We actually
goddamn.
eat first, and then we get over there.
Oh, no.
And we get there around 7.
Okay.
And it costs $15 a piece to get into this con.
Jesus.
Now, I know I'm going to have a free $100 later
Okay.
to pillage through.
So
this doesn't tear me up because I'm like, maybe there'll be some arcade stuff. We'll kill some time. I'll try to make some of the money back.
yeah.
We've already kind of committed to this trip.
Right. Yeah, you're here.
We're here. $15. I pay for him because he's just along for the ride.
Right.
I'm not going to leave him in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he's 20 years old, 22 years old. He could pay for himself, but I'm dragging him to this, so I pay. So
Yeah.
$30 basically for me and someone else to get in there. We walk up to where the marketplace is, and I start strolling in like I own the place.
Right.
Like, hey, sir, closes at 7. I was like, you fucking kidding me.
Wow, what time is it?
It's 7:07.
Oh, no.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I
I drove 3 hours to get here.
drove 3 hours
Yeah.
initially for nothing, and then another 20 minutes to pay $30 to find out that the person that I want to see, I can't even pay to see him.
Damn.
So I called him again. I was like, dude, we made it over here. We paid to get in, and the marketplace is closed. He's like, ugh. All right, 1 second. Stay right there. So he comes over, and he goes, I need these guys to help me load. And so he lets me in.
Okay.
I'm like, well, okay, well, this is okay. I'm getting like a personal
Backstage pass.
maybe
Yeah.
of the vendor floor. Now everything's covered up with blankets. A lot of the vendors have left, I guess 7 minutes ago.
Right.
But I'm making my way all the way to the back, and I'm asking him kind of on the way. I'm like, so you do good business at this thing? Because I think this is only the second year it's been there.
Okay.
And he says, yeah, I learned my lesson last year not to bring as many games and bring more toys.
Oh, no.
I was like, wait, he didn't. I thought you said, but you said that you. He's like, I got a couple. I got a few.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh shit. So we get over there, and basically he has like 2 little like cases. Like if you go to a flea market, some old guy's got his like war medals in it. Like one of those little cases. So he's got maybe like 18 games in a case.
Oh, baby.
So I'm staring at it, and he can kind of tell that like
It's not clicking.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, yeah, I don't think I want any of this stuff in particular. He's like, well, I'm actually about to head back to the store.
Oh, baby.
But now I'm mad. Because why didn't you just tell me you were coming back in an hour?
Yeah, good point.
I've paid $30.
You paid $30, yeah.
So I was like, yes, I will be there.
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, so, I told my nephew, like, let's walk around here and look at whatever the fuck's here and see if we could manage $4 of fun, out of this.
Let's squeeze something out of it.
We go to like the console, and I guess like the only other convention I've ever been to is MagFest, so it's not really a fair comparison. But
Okay.
even by like, if I were to put on my own convention, this is still sad.
Oh no.
Like, there is they have like a console room set up.
Okay.
3 consoles. They have an arcade room, which has 2 pinball machines and 1 arcade machine with a game I've never heard of before in my life.
Oh wow.
One guy was in there, and it just didn't seem like a party.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a party.
24-hour convention. Now, there are people like standing around. There are a lot of people dressed up doing that thing, which I guess that's great for them because that doesn't really ever time out.
Sure.
But there was no other fun there. There was one celebrity that's supposed to show up on Saturday, Ernie, one of the Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Well, he's going to be there.
Nice.
You know, they got the Ghostbusters car.
Yeah.
Friday night, though, they got jack shit.
Jack shit.
So I didn't get any money's worth out of that trip.
Damn.
But we managed to go back over to Bro's store.
Okay.
I'm not excited at this point.
Right, yeah.
I'm kind of wearing it on my sleeve, to be honest. And I go through the case or whatever. I pick out like $100 worth of stuff I want. And I was like, he said something about the con. He's like, you weren't feeling it? He didn't say. I was like, yeah.
Like this?
I was like, yeah, not really. And he's like, okay, well, sorry about that. And I was looking at like all the N64 games that he had, and I was like, man, I'm missing a lot of these like really stupid fucking sports titles.
Okay.
I was like, hey man, what if I went through here and got like as many sports titles out of this N64 set that I wanted, could I get them for like super dupe cheap? Like, that would kind of make me feel better. And he was like, oh yeah, because I know like game store owners are just trying to get rid of N64 sports games, and I would give them away for free. But like, he would totally mark them down. So he had them at maybe $4 or $5 a piece, and I got them for all like less than $1 a piece.
Damn.
I think I made up the $30 there.
Okay.
So that was okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. It made me feel a little bit better about it. But what a fucking adventure, man!
That's
like,
quite the ride.
I hated getting led around and then paying money to just
Do
look
nothing.
at a guy.
Yeah.
You know, you just tell me like, oh hey, sorry, I'm not there right now. Can you wait in like an hour?
Right.
I'll be back.
Yeah, that
Like,
would have been
great.
useful.
I could go eat.
That would have been useful.
Oh, it
Yeah.
would have been great. So
Yeah.
anyway,
That's a cool pickup story.
I guess. Like I said, it's one
It's
of those
a story,
stories,
but it's more than anything I have, yeah.
It does. You know, we didn't. There's no shootout. There's no nothing. But
No half-dead turtle on a plate with a pile of cigarette ashes and a gun.
Yeah, that was a fun story. I don't know what episode number that was.
I don't either.
People should go check that one out.
They should.
But yeah, that's me. Now, what have you picked up?
Yeah, I picked up a lot of Switch games. I'm not going to go through all of them here because I do plan to do another pickup video probably sometime in the coming week, and I'll probably be out a week or so after this podcast goes live. I'll mention 2 because one, I think it's an easy one to mention, and the other one I'm playing, so I feel like I should mention that.
You should.
But I did grab Dark Souls Remastered. This just came out Friday, which was the 19th. Got it for the Switch, obviously. I had a $10 coupon to use at GameStop, so I just burned it on that. So I picked it up for $30, so got a discount off of it right at the start because it's a $40 title, you know, as it stands. And then the other one I picked up a while ago, but just haven't mentioned to anyone because it's embarrassing, is Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Why is that embarrassing?
Because it's another RPG. And I just made a joke in the last pickup video I did about how I need more RPGs.
Well, you know, and I think it's a little that you're collecting.
I am collecting.
So that doesn't really count.
It doesn't.
At least I would.
But both of these are technically RPGs.
Technically, yes. Now, what's your experience with the Dark Souls series or the Souls series in general?
A lot of dabbling in the mainline Dark Souls series. Played a good amount of Bloodborne, which is in that lineage, but not necessarily that series. You know, it's still from software. But played a lot of Bloodborne. Never finished it because it's hard as balls, but Dark Souls is one that I really just want to get in there and play because I feel like it's a classic. A lot of games are like derivative of that in a good way, and I like the idea. It's just hard as nails.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like I said the same thing. It was on my radar last week because I was like, this is maybe my time to get in.
Could be.
Yeah, but I haven't picked it up yet.
Right on.
Looking forward to the next couple of weeks here, October 23rd through November 5th. There's one big one there on the board.
One big one on the board.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
How about that?
Howdy doody.
It's crazy that it's here.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can wait.
Oh,
but
no, not
I'm excited.
anymore. You know, and we talked about this last night when you were over.
I did.
The excitement for this is mounting fast for me.
Yeah.
For a long time, I was like...
kind of middling on it?
it was kind of like Christmas. Like I just knew it would come and it would eventually be here, and I would just get excited when it came.
But no like build up hype. Just kind of like when it gets here, I'll be happy.
Yeah, and it feels good to kind of have that because it's been a long time. I feel like, when they announced Skyrim, that was like a time that I really remember being giddy for.
You feel like it's that big for you?
No, not even. But I'm just trying to think like the last time I was super stoked about a release. Fallout 4 was one of those.
Okay.
Again, where I just could not wait to get my hands on it.
Right.
GTA 5, I wasn't really that excited for. I mean, I loved it when it came out, but this is one where, like, as it gets closer, the more I'm getting really like kid excited.
Nice.
I just can't wait. So
just a few days now.
Stoked. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Can't wait.
Really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to buy it right out the gate?
Well, that is interesting because I will be, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but I will be getting the PS4 back.
Right.
And I'll have access to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'd like to knock that out.
You should.
So I might knock that out and then grab old Red Dead.
Smart city.
But I'm definitely going to get it pretty soon.
Okay.
Definitely going to get it pretty soon.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Anything else on your list?
I got a couple on my radar. I did put RDR2 on there because I am starting to be, I think if you've listened to the show, you know that I like on the lead up, I've not been terribly excited about this. And it's just because it is another one of those massive open worlds that I can just, not lose time in because that's kind of the point, but just
lose yourself
get lost
in
in.
the moment
Yeah.
you want it. Never ever let it go.
All right, we're going to get a copyright strike for that now. Way to go. No, it's just, open world games are just paralyzing sometimes. So that's why I've kind of been not as crazy about it, but I've seen some of the gameplay videos. I've seen some of the, features sort of lined out. The fun little things that they're putting in the game, like if you kill a civilian, then that's the family of that civilian is going to come after you.
Neat.
Put a bounty on you, maybe. That's really cool.
Turning off the map markers and being able to just get general directions, like
general directions.
as you would.
Yeah, that's
There's no
cool.
GPS on a horse. There's no horchacho
There's no
GPS.
Mark, that you follow on the horizon.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, those little things kind of excite me. The other one that's on my radar is the Castlevania Requiem, which is I think it's Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, and a 2-pack on PS4. And I kind of want to get both of these
on or a similar, I guess, port of this on the PSP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I really need to play Symphony of the Night because I haven't.
It's hot.
And Rondo of Blood, that's just a cool ass name, so I need to play that game too.
It's Rondo of Blood's pretty good because it's a good true to the original form Castlevania game.
Okay.
I like it a lot. It might be one of my favorites.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably pick that up because I think it's only $20. I think it's going to be a digital only. It's only on PS4, so should be an easy pick up and play situation.
Nice. Kind of wish that would come to the Switch.
That would be great.
That would be great.
That would be perfect, actually.
All right. What happened last time?
Let's check it out.
Previously on Polykill, Trav picks up a handful of Switch games and beats Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on the Wii U. Jake finds time to finish Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon between stints of Octopath Traveler. The hosts decide who they would marry, who they would kill, and who they would fuck among the video game villains for the topic of this year.
All right. So last episode was pretty fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I didn't think it would end up. I thought it would be. The idea of it, I was like, this could be fun. It could also be a disaster.
Right. I mean, it felt like one of those complete hit or complete miss situations.
Yeah. And even in the moment, I don't know if I felt great about it, but when I went back and listened to it, some of the stuff that we had said was great.
And people seem to like it.
They did, which is good.
Yeah. Thanks for the reactions to that, and the not reactions, but I guess the kind of
the feedback.
The feedback. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Maybe next time we should have people submit the trio to us.
Totally should.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We'll do that next time. All right, so games that we've completed or retired.
Yeah.
Knocked off the old backlog anyway. Now, Jake, let's get it out of the way here. What's been going on?
I didn't beat any games.
Right.
Just honestly, life has been, back to that crazy shit again.
Same old.
I mean, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
I put some time in. I'll talk about that on the next segment. But
par for the old course, seems like to me.
Well, you beat some games.
I did. I beat a few.
Pretty small ones, though. I mean.
I'm kidding. One for sure was very small, Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah.
And it's not even one that I feel great bragging about, but this game has a special place for me because I remember as a kid, they must have, I think I actually talked a little bit about this in the pickup video that'll be coming out or will be out. When I really, really, really wanted a Game Boy as a kid.
Right.
The one game that I kept seeing advertised and that a lot of my friends had was Kirby's Dream Land.
Okay.
And I thought it looked so cool. And the thing that stuck out to me was the first boss battle with the tree.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? The guy who's got the long nose.
Yeah, I know.
And maybe that was just in a lot of the commercial advertisement or something like that. But there was something about that just I wanted
Captured
it
your
so bad.
imagination.
Yeah, it was huge. And I never actually got that game. I got other games, and I was happy with those other games I got. But I was, for some reason, Kirby's Dream Land never landed in my lap.
Okay.
And even as a collector, I've not picked it up. But I mentioned that I got it for a really good deal on eBay, which rarely ever happens, for only $5. And yeah, you had to play it.
Of course.
Had to play it. And
Nice.
the playthrough's it's 20 to 25 minutes.
Oh, that's easy.
But after you beat it, there's a Game Plus mode where it's harder.
Okay.
And I thought about it, but I was like, I already got them credits.
Nah, it's fine.
It's just Kirby.
It's fine.
But yeah, so yeah, it was great. It was
Cool.
great to beat that. It was kind of a
very nice.
kind of a childhood thing. The other one, and I talked about it last time, Shining Soul.
Yeah.
Big old bore fest, boys.
Boy,
Woo!
howdy.
Oh man, so boring.
That's not good.
Oh man, so boring. I was lucky I had enough murder podcasts
To grind through that.
Oh yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean that is the one plus. I can end up playing a very mindless, boring game and still enjoy my time just because of some other stuff I'm putting into.
There
my
you
brain.
go.
But man, it is a slog, and it really makes me sad because I'm wanting more of that Shining Force, that
Right.
Shining Force 2.
That strategy.
I know there's another Shining Force 3. I need to get a hold of that. But Shining Soul is just a completely different recipe.
Interesting.
It's a dungeon crawler. There's no challenge to the map. There's no challenge to the enemies. They just keep spawning and spawning, and you just keep pushing the same buttons. There's some difficulty spikes with the bosses, which doesn't make it more rewarding. It just makes it feel cheap. And I don't know. I really didn't enjoy it. And then after I played it, of course, I go down the Wikipedia hole to be like, what happened?
Yeah.
And it was very, very panned. People did not like that game when
Fair
it was
enough.
out. So I don't know. Maybe I'll read in the Shining Soul 2 to make sure that if it sucks, I'll skip it.
Okay.
But if it's better, maybe I'll play it. I don't know. So
Who knows?
both those are on the Game Boy Advance.
Okay. Cool.
And lastly, Owlboy.
Owlboy.
Man. Now this game is it's a roller coaster in terms of how I feel about it.
Okay.
Starting out, story's going to hook you. It's very rare that a 2D platforming story can get its grippers on you.
Absolutely.
It seems somewhat relatable. You know,
Right.
you're basically an owl boy. You're mute.
Right.
You trying to save your homestead.
You can't do a lot by yourself, though.
You got to have your buddies. So it's all about making these buddies, making these friends, and that part of it's cute and great. Mechanically, it's okay for most of the game, and I'll explain that a little bit more in just a second. But one key gripe I have is the way that when you take damage, what it kind of does to you.
Okay.
Mario, like old school Mario, you just get hit, you stop in midair, and you're dead immediately. I almost prefer that.
Sure. Okay.
Castlevania, you do the stagger thing.
Staggers I hate those staggers. Yeah.
But this is like stagger times 1,000. Where
baby.
You take a hit, and it just slings you up against the side of the screen.
Huh.
And you just fall down the screen like a cartoon.
That's no good.
Like a cartoon hitting a wall and then just melting down. It does that, and then so it takes you like a full 2 seconds before you kind of regain control of your character each time you're hit.
Okay. So I can imagine you can get into some weird loops like that, right?
You can get bashed around like a rag doll. That didn't happen a lot, but it can happen. That's infuriating. The one thing I will say about the game is extremely forgiving. There's no like number of lives. You basically restart real close to where you died.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. It's pretty forgiving, but
Cool.
it's just really some of that stuff is kind of irritating.
Sure.
But near the end of the game, and this is not spoiling anything, but near the end of the game, your ability to fly becomes pretty restricted. And so in the game, you can fly a couple of ways. You can jump and then hold the jump button, and your wings will come out eventually, and you can fly.
Okay.
That's great. You can jump and then tap jump again and just make the wings come out. That's great. You can do that. That's fine if you want to fly.
Yeah.
You can jump and you can hit up on the stick, and that'll bring the wings out. You can fly that way.
Oh.
So a couple different ways.
You
can
got
fly.
options.
But if you cannot fly, those things are awful because you don't want to fly.
Oh, okay.
So in the last part of the game, you're supposed to jump from these platforms.
Okay.
You're just jumping. If you fly, you cannot recover from it. You'll just soar to the bottom.
Oh.
There's no getting out of the flying once you start doing it.
Okay.
So that was very frustrating at the very end of the game because I probably played this part like 100 times, no joke.
Damn.
And just swallowing it, just being like, oh, all right, let me try one more time. Is it me? Is it you? Is it me? Is it you? Have you ever hate Googled something where you're just looking for someone on the internet
Yes.
to agree with you?
Yeah, you need some commiseration.
Yeah, I did that, and there was a lot of people like me that were like, "This is garbage. This is trash," because you want to jump and you have to aim your jump, and if you aim your jump and you hit above 0 degrees on the stick, the wings come out and you're toast.
Gotcha.
So what I found was in a post-party, a drunken stupor of mine,
Okay.
holding onto the controller, heavy drunk old thumbs. My thumb just pushed up the whole time, and it canceled out me pushing up.
So it set that to 0. In other words.
Yeah, basically. So it allowed me to steer the jump, but I wasn't pushing up and engaging the wings.
Aha!
It's like a cheat code. So I wanted
smart.
to get on there and re-hate Google and be like, guys, I figured it out.
But someone else did?
No.
Oh, you just didn't do it.
It was an old Reddit post, so I wasn't able to respond to it.
Ah.
So those people are just angry and pissed in the past, and I cannot affect them.
Have burned their copies.
I know. They have. So,
Okay.
but what you got to do, just hold up.
Yeah.
You're good. But
Okay.
man, just a little simple thing like that I couldn't figure out for 100 trials.
Damn.
And it really impacted the way I felt about the game for a hot minute.
No doubt.
For sure.
Now you did beat it. So was there any redeeming qualities story wise? Did you feel any sense of, was it more relief or jubilation when you finished the game?
I was a little disappointed in the way the story wrapped up.
Okay.
And I just overall think that it lacked a little bit of polish in the mechanics.
Okay.
But in general, it's a B game, I think.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's worth playing. It's just
Yeah.
just know that there are going to be some frustrating moments.
Fair enough.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah, it's all boy.
Okay, so it's time to move on to some polykillers here. So some hashtag just beat it friends.
Yeah, if you hashtagged, you use the hashtag just beat it, Shimon, and you put a screenshot of the game.
Yeah.
Got to have that.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it right here.
Yeah.
And if you beat enough, you're a polykiller, and you'll get mentioned right here on the show.
Right here on the show.
Number 1, we got Ryan at its rocket sauce. He
Hell
beat
yeah.
2 spookers.
Oh boy.
In Resident Evil 2 and Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Simon's Quest, of course, is a game about a boy trying to find out whatever happened to Molly Ringwald.
Oh.
Good luck on that quest. I'd like to know.
Yeah, she's around, I think.
How's she doing?
I don't know.
Does she make cameos in sitcoms or anything?
I doubt it. I don't know her life. Miles and Catherine, a flock of nerds who just put the final touches on their sex dungeon, combined to finish Mega Coin Squad, Zombie Vikings, and Foul Play.
Wow.
They got a threesome there.
Yeah, they like to play a lot of games together, and good for them.
Yeah, that's good.
They'll come in handy in the sex dungeon, I think.
Probably. Zombie Vikings is one that I've kind of wanted to play because it's from, what's the name of that game? Boy, it's got a really cool art aesthetic where it's kind of like this 2D paper-looking thing.
Castle Crashers almost?
No. Much more detailed, but also much more stylized than that. Anyway, it's cool.
Okay.
The same developer just released a game called Flipping Death, and I want to play that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, looks
Very
really cool.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tend to play a lot of interesting games, Miles and Catherine.
I like that about them. Like
Fun.
Foul Play, that's one I've never gotten around to, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, if you want to get some shit done, maybe reach out to cowden.tech. cowden.tech is making robots.
Robotics.
Robots.
I like it.
Making robots and shit. We're starting to specialize in autonomous systems for agriculture problems. Some projects we've worked on in the past include assisting Virginia Tech in an international robotics competition in Abu Dhabi, consulting on an EMS software communication system used in emerging countries, and helping Travis beat Double Dragon 2. Drop us a line at info@cowden.tech if you're interested in working together or curious to learn more. That is info@cowden.tech. And of course, there's no job too big or too small. Reach out to cowden.tech if you have any questions about what they can do for you.
Right on.
All right.
The game I was thinking about is Stick It to the Man. Yeah.
The same company made it?
Same company, yeah. Zoink Studios.
Okay. What was Stick It to the Man like?
Pretty much the same. It was just some really funny mechanics to it. I don't want to talk about it because it's kind of the game.
The mechanics of the game.
Yeah, it's
Does
pretty
it
funny.
involve the sticks?
It does involve that.
It seems like it would.
Yeah, and but you could slap things and spin them around and stuff. It was really cool. And they're actually based in Gothenburg, Sweden, which is cool. It's sort of the birthplace of melodic death metal, which is some music that I like. So nice little tie-in.
Hey, very cool.
Yeah,
you know a lot about Sweden these days.
A bit. Also, if you like what you're hearing so far, you can find everything that we do on Polykill.com. You can search Polykill Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to find us there. You can reach out to us on the forums of cartridgeclub.org. Current games of the month are Resident Evil 2, and the Portable Cartridge Club is playing Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Drop us a line, ask us a question, or share an idea by sending us an email to polykillpodcast@gmail.com. Give us a rating, a liking, or something on iTunes or whatever service you use. And it's time for the next segment of the ground game.
Yes. And we couldn't be more thrilled to have had a lot of grocers
Yeah.
and clerks Tap into the show.
Bag boys, bag girls.
Bag girls, bag boys.
Yeah.
Tapping into the show. It was great to hear from those people. They work very hard. The unsung heroes of the grocery experience, I think.
Probably.
Because now we got those automatic checkouts. We're bagging our own shit now. What do we work there?
Maybe.
And then we got these people there that are working hard for their money, and treat them with a podcast. We're glad you did that.
Yes.
This time, however, I think it's important that we reach out to our mail persons, your mailmen, your mail women, your mail carriers. Let them know. They're riding around all day delivering your stupid packages.
What are they doing?
Your bootleg porn.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about porn made in a basement. I'm talking about actual porn, people having sex with boots and legs.
Yes, and legs and boots.
Yes, and they're doing all that for you, carrying all that for you. Maybe stop one, as they're heading back to their Jeep. Mine's in a Jeep. Is yours in a Jeep?
It's a little Jeepy thing, yeah.
A Jeepy thing. On the way back to the Jeep, they just left your house carrying this big old hokey box of bullshit you ordered.
Right.
Stop and say, hey, how's your podcast game?
What's that like?
Try Polykill.
Do it.
That'll help them out.
Yeah, they'll love you for it.
They'll ride around all day pounding that sweet poly goodness.
Yes.
And they'll thank you. They'll thank you.
Absolutely.
They'll keep your boxes out of the rain from now on.
They'll put a bag over them when it rains.
They will. So that's it. That's the Polykill ground game. Reach out to the mail folks.
Yeah.
All right. Restocking the log.
Restocking the log, girl.
And foreplay.
Yeah, it is a bit of that same. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit here, since you've been gabbing.
About time. Jeez, great.
Yeah, so I mentioned at the top of the show, one of my pickups was Xenoblade Barnacles 2.
Hey, wouldn't that be fun, though?
Hey, it'd be fun. But no, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, this is a game that launched pretty early in the Switch's life cycle. It's one of the bigger RPGs on the system, if not the biggest, in terms of, well, I mean, Breath of the Wild is probably the only competitor in terms of size.
Yeah, you can maybe say that more declaratively, if that is a word, for the Wii U especially.
Oh, for sure.
Giant Wii U RPG, maybe one of the few.
Yeah.
Now, Breath of the Wild's on there, but this certainly
is big.
Giant.
Big. So I really didn't intend on starting playing this. But here's what happened. So, as everyone knows, I've been playing Octopath Traveler. Been having a great time with it. I think I'm about 7 to 8 hours in on Octopath Traveler. But I saw a deal on Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Couldn't pass it up. If you watched my last pickup video, I got the prequel, which is Torn of the Golden Compass. I picked it up for $6. And I was like, well, I don't know if I should play this first or if I should play the OG first. One's technically the prequel. Torna is the prequel. So story-wise, it's set 500 years before the other game. So I don't think they're really going to connect in, one-to-one ways, right? I think it's going to be more lore, backstory. So it's like, I'll just play the first one first. In other words, the non-prequel one, when I get it. Anyway, saw it that I could get it for a decent deal, snagged it, and then I was like, I just kind of want to put it in and see what happens. I just kind of want to play it.
What did you think? What happens? The game will start and you'll play it?
I was kind of itching to play like a 3D RPG a little bit.
Maybe you just run through the tutorial, get that out of the way?
Something.
Yeah.
See those opening cutscenes?
Okay.
Something. And then popped it in, and boy, the rest is kind of history at this point.
How many hours are you talking already?
I'm close to 10.
Okay.
Which is decent for me.
Yeah.
But I can, this game seems to be pretty polarizing. A lot of people like it. A lot of people love it, actually. And then there's a lot of people who have very strong opinions about very specific things in the game, specifically the combat and the voice acting. Some people don't like.
Is it a departure from previous Xenoblades? Is that the issue?
Well, I don't think so, because I played Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, a bit. I didn't finish it. But it's similar in tone to that. It's kind of this heightened JRPG, very colorful, very broad characters. Lots of little cheesy moments that only happen in JRPGs. But it's also got some real gravitas to it in terms of the story. I really like the story. I think about the story when I'm not playing the game.
Interesting.
Which is weird.
For JRPG, yeah. Not usually relatable all the time.
Not really. But the combat is interesting because it's based on auto attacks. So when you engage an enemy, your character just starts attacking automatically without you pressing any buttons, just doing basic attacks. And then the more basic attacks you do, you fill up little special meters for multiple bonus attacks that you can do. And each attack that you do can have a greater effect depending on the ability, at a different position behind the enemy, beside the enemy, something like that. So it's more about strategy in terms of how you're timing these attacks or where you're standing in relation to the enemy. So like that's where the kind of the fun of the combat comes in. It's not button mashing. Plus you've got some really complex like relationships between your character and other characters in combat, and I just really, really like it.
It's great, man.
I'm having a good time with it.
It's good.
Yeah.
You think this could be? Would you count it if you beat it?
If I don't know.
It'd be one of the RPGs?
We'll leave it to the people to decide.
Okay, the people don't care. Just beat an RPG already.
Yeah.
Is what the people want.
Yeah, it's a big one though. It's Girthy Girl.
It is.
You know, it's around 100 hours, like to really finish it. I think
You only got a few more weeks at this point.
I do. Yeah, I'm 10% through the game.
Oh man, I'm worrying for you.
Yeah.
I think Fallout 4. I've said it a couple times.
You have.
I think
You mentioned
should
it.
just blitzkrieg it.
I could
Get
Should
that
just
weight
bum
off
rush
of
it.
you. Get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out.
I'll probably do that.
You did it. You did it. And so I also wanted to call myself out when you said Xenoblade Chronicles 2. For some reason, I always think of X. That's the Wii U one.
It is.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think it was a big game, so I don't
Yeah, it
think
was
you're
huge,
wrong.
big old game. Yeah, I for some reason, I think there's only one Xenoblade Chronicles game.
Oh, no.
I forget about 1 and 2. I always just
gotcha.
think of X. So
I gotcha.
That's my bad.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I'm glad you're having fun with it. So, and you played a little bit of 1,
Played a little bit of 1, yeah.
and you haven't touched X. Obviously, you didn't have a Wii U.
Right.
Would you ever go back to those, or do you think those games matter when you're playing this one?
No, I mean this
Very
is the Xenoblade is like the Final Fantasy. Like the stories are not
Okay.
interconnected.
All right, that's actually a good thing. That helps
I like
people
that.
get into a series. I
Yeah.
think there's every game's a jumping on point, which is good.
Yeah, and X is actually the biggest departure of 1 and 2. Like it's entirely different.
Now, like a through line through series,
Sure.
obviously.
Sure.
But that's a good thing about like the Zeldas and especially those long mainstay franchises. Mario even doesn't really matter. They're
Right.
all different.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
same.
definitely. Yeah, and I think you get the same thing with a lot of RPGs where sometimes the through line will be a mechanic or a set of mechanics or something, like in the Dragon Quest series. Like they're not all related, but lore-wise they're kind of
Lore-wise,
connected. But you always kind of get those familiar touch points like the slimes or the combat
Yeah,
system or
for
something
sure.
like that. So I think that Xenoblade Chronicles is more close to Final Fantasy, where it's like we kind of do what we want, but this is sort of the brand of game that it is.
Fair enough. All
You
right.
know?
Very
Yeah,
cool, man.
yeah.
Very surprised by that. Didn't see that coming.
Oh, me neither at all. Yeah, out of nowhere, left field even.
Oh boy.
Maybe even so far left that is right again.
Oh, wow. We're
Yeah.
in foul territory.
Foul.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, I finished once I finished Gameboy, I said I need something a little less, something easy. I just need to breeze through something.
Sure.
And so I started up Kirby Star Allies there on the Switch.
Okay.
Didn't get rave reviews. Okay. First Kirby game.
Right.
A lot of them do okay, but this one people didn't like.
It's like a 7, right?
I guess maybe reviewers didn't like so much. 7's still good.
Yeah.
But as a Nintendo title, you're kind of used to a little more these days.
Sure.
I think my issue with the game, and I shouldn't have an issue, it's a fucking Kirby game. Like, who matters? What does it
Right.
matter?
Exactly.
But the idea is that you have these buddies that help you out. So instead of just Kirby having all these abilities, you can sort of leverage the abilities of the enemies that you sort of tag as your friends, your allies.
Okay.
But once you get into like a boss battle, there's so much going on with all your buddies. It feels like Smash Bros. Syndrome, where you just lose who you are on the screen. So I have to like run over to the edge of the screen, start jumping around to see where my
Which
character
one you
is,
are,
and then
yeah.
jump back into battle. And that's happened a lot, and I've only played like maybe 30 minutes of the game.
Okay.
So that is kind of a thing where it's like
Maybe
maybe
a
I'm
mild
just stupid,
frustration.
but I have a hard time keeping up with like my character when my character's tiny and there's a bunch of stuff going on.
No,
I kind of get lost in the
That can happen.
yeah. So anyway, but it's fun, colorful, Kirby, easy, fun, good time. I'm going to be looking forward to playing Spider-Man, as I said.
Yeah.
That's going to be one.
Can't wait for you to play that. I hope you like it.
I'm sure I will. Just looking at it being colorful, and it seems a real bright, open, colorful, open world. A lot of cool abilities. Like I don't see where it could go wrong, really.
Yeah.
And plus, everybody else has already liked it. I'd be a schmuck to be like, well, I actually didn't think much for it.
Right.
I think people would be like, "Shut up, idiot!"
I mean, we would
You know?
be.
I
Yeah.
know, right? So I
definitely would be.
I'm not worried at all. Actually, I
Good.
think it'll be fun.
Glad to hear that.
I played a little bit more Mega Man 11.
Yeah?
And I got to be honest,
It's
dude. I
kicking
don't
your
know.
ass.
I don't think I can do it. I really don't.
Okay.
I like it. I think it looks great. And
Yeah,
I
I like the look of it. I know I'll never beat it.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I might drop down. I might give up. Being normal difficulty hero and just
go
drop
down
it
to
down
easy?
and see.
See what happens.
Yeah, just because I'd like to.
Do you know what that affects in the game mechanically?
I really don't. I
Okay.
really don't. It might just take some of the life down on the enemies. Maybe they're slower or something.
Give you more health. Make your attack stronger. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways it could go.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm eager to find out because as it stands right now, I'm not doing well. I've made it to a couple of the bosses only for like a split second before I got obliterated.
Damn.
And getting back to those bosses is hard. These levels are much longer than the classic levels.
Okay.
Usually, I think the classic levels were maybe, it felt kind of two-tiered. Like there's like a first part and then a second part. And
Right,
then the
you
boss.
climb up a ladder and then that moved you to the next level.
Right, it always felt like there was a clear 2-part divide in the level, but this feels like there's a clear 3-part divide in the level, so they're much longer.
Oh, shit.
They're much longer and much more difficult, but I appreciate that. I'm glad Mega Man's back. I'm glad the Mega Man veterans are happy.
They're very happy.
And that's important. It's not important that they make a Mega Man for me. It's important that they make a Mega Man for people that like it. That
Exactly.
love it.
Exactly.
I like it okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it enough to fucking beat this. This is hard. But it's great, so I'm glad it's back.
Nice.
Another game I played, and maybe it's not even worth bringing up, it's just a little Game Boy game. I got sort of on a Game Boy kick.
Okay.
With my my little attachment to my GameCube and all that. I was playing some games.
Nice.
It's called Fortified Zone. It's a top-down isometric shooter where you can switch between two characters, a male character and a female character. The male character can use special weapons, and the female character is faster and can do more physical stuff. She's more agile and can jump.
Okay.
You sort of have to use them together to get through the levels. And it's only got 4 levels in it. The last one's kind of a biatch, but that's the one I'm stuck on.
Okay.
But I found myself having fun with it. It's sort of one of those enjoy a game. It's like Stockholm Syndrome with the game, where you're like, I'm so far now.
Yeah.
I might as well. I don't know if I'm having fun anymore, but now it's personal.
Right.
That's where I'm at with Fortified Zone.
Okay.
But it's kind of neat.
That is cool.
All right. So, time for the discussion.
Discussion.
We might discuss something here, but what we're doing here, being Halloween, spooky time, we thought we'd... was that a squeaky door?
I don't know what that was.
Was that a dying owl?
It was like it was an owl. It was an owl.
That dead owl. Oh, boy. We're going to read some creepypastas that we found. Okay. All right. we found some creepypastas that we found on the internet.
Okay.
And some good ones, I think. Most of them, let's be honest, they're not going to scare you too much.
Oh, no, they're not going to scare you. And some of these are, well, I don't know about yours, but I'll talk about them again.
Yeah, some of them are purposefully not great. But we're going to read these, and we should have fun with it. So I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So my first one's called Xbox Live.
Okay.
I'm writing this in front of my TV. My Xbox is on and resting on the main dashboard. I can see my avatar, and I think he can see me. He occasionally waves. I prefer to keep my eyes on the screen as much as possible because better the devil, you know, right? Better the devil, you know?
Better the devil you know.
Better the devil, you know.
You know the saying.
I do now.
Devil you know. Okay.
It was weird, sorry. This all started a week ago. I was mixing it up between Trials HD and Battlefield 1943. I'm an arcade nut and love some of the games that you can download. I was owning a level on Trials when I received a party invite. The thing is, it had no name attached. It was just an empty field followed by, has invited you to an Xbox Live party. You know, at the bottom, like the boop,
Yeah.
has invited you, no name. Flummoxed, I accepted and entered the party. When I checked the menus, I was the only one in there. Somewhat strange, but not impossible. The person could have left before I entered. Just as I was readying to leave, someone else joined the party. Namely, it was me. The name of this person here is Silicon Lemming. That's the name of their Xbox Live. So it says, Silicon Lemming has joined the party. This made me smile, as you do sometimes see other weird glitches online. I checked the menus and saw my name twice in the party. One was playing Trials and the other was editing the avatar. Hello, I said, not really expecting an answer. Hello, echoed back to me a couple of seconds later in my voice. I relaxed. Sound delay and party glitches were rare, but they did happen. Getting freaked out over a glitch, I said, half annoyed that I had allowed it to unsettle me. My words returned to me, but this time the tone of the words had become a little mocking. This made me stop short for a second. I shook my head and reasoned that I must have misheard. Why don't you come and say that to my face? I said, as a joke, expecting it to say it back the same way. Maybe I might just do that. My blood turned to ice. That was my voice, but I hadn't said those words. The other me left the party immediately after that. I sat for a moment, confused and shaking as the adrenaline pumped. I checked the list of interacted profiles, but that revealed nothing. I eventually decided that was enough Xbox for that night, and I turned it off. The incident played on in my mind for an entire next day, and that evening, I was back on the Xbox again. I spent a couple of minutes looking around the menus for anything else scary, but everything was decidedly normal. Half an hour into some intense explosion, man, I received a voice message. I was getting bored of the game, so I dropped out of the dashboard and opened the message. It was heavy breathing for a few seconds, followed by my voice saying, "Can you say distraction?" Once again, confused, I stared at the screen. In the background, I could see my avatar dancing away, but there was nothing to attribute the message to. A momentary illogical fear made me spin around and inspect the room, making sure there was nothing there. It was when I turned back that I nearly screamed. My avatar had forced his way forwards over the menus, and his head now filled the entire screen. He stared at me silently, his hands planted against the screen from the opposite side. He pointed at me and drew a finger across his throat. I started to smell burned plastic. A trickle of smoke escaped the console, and then it crashed. The last thing I saw was the colors invert on the Xbox, and the face of the threatening avatar turned electric pink and green. The image disappeared, followed by the standard no signal message. My Xbox was wrecked. When I tried to switch it back on, I got the dreaded red ring of death. The ominous name of the defect wasn't lost on me. I waited a month before I eventually sent off my Xbox for repairs. I had bought it brand new, and it was well within warranty, so I got it replaced for free. It sat in my hallway for a fortnight before I had the guts to switch it back on. I finally rigged it up, and now I'm staring at the dashboard. Everything was fairly normal until I logged in my profile and saw literally dozens of voice messages, all of them in my voice screaming, "Where are you?" and "We're not done yet." The final message was dated about 20 minutes ago. All it said was, "I'm done waiting. I'm coming to get you." The avatar on the screen has stepped forward and started to rub his hands together. Then he started to wave. It took me a couple of seconds to realize he was waving at someone behind me.
Nice.
Silicon Lemming.
Yeah.
It was written by Silicon Lemming.
That was cool.
He's probably dead now.
Yeah, he's probably dead. That's neat.
Yeah, man. Kind of spooky, right?
No, that's good.
A little spook.
That's a good one.
I think so. Kind of creative.
Yeah.
I like the ones that are not about the game itself, but about interacting with games. You know? Like, how creepy would it be to get, like...
Well, that's next level.
Yeah, get an invitation from your own name to join a party. You jump in there, and you just hear in your own voice.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be creepy.
Super creepy.
I kind of hope it happens now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Minus the whole, like, getting murdered or avatar thing, but
Your
just, like...
Xbox blowing up or all that.
That little creep fest.
Yeah.
You know, just... who is that?
Who is it?
Man, fun times. You ever had a red ring of death?
Yeah. 3 of them. No, 2 of them. Yeah.
And you lived to tell about it.
I did. I'm fine.
What'd you do? Were those under warranty? You
They
sent
were,
those back?
yeah.
You good now?
Yeah, Microsoft always covered that. Yeah.
That's good. Was that the old white?
Yeah.
Was that the one of the Ridges?
Correct.
Yeah. I never had the Ridge.
The Ridge?
Yeah, I got it, my Xbox 360 post Red Ring of Death, I guess after they had patched and fixed whatever was causing that.
Yeah.
So I missed out on all the creeps.
So you did.
So I did.
Yeah.
So you got one.
I got one over here.
All right, let's go.
Let's talk about this one, all right? Here we go. This one's pretty short.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, good.
It's about, it's just a little short thing. I don't know why we are like this. As far as I know, it's just the people in town. But I have an awful feeling that it goes much farther than that. We stand still. Some of us move, but not by much. A step to the left, maybe 2 to the right, but that's it. Day and night, always this way. We don't sleep or eat, just stand or walk. We don't talk to each other, never to each other. No shouts, no whispers, just silence. Silence other than that song. I hate that song, but I think I would miss it if it stopped. Then there's that guy. He walks around as much as he wants. He doesn't talk to us, but we talk to him. We have to when he wants us to. I heard him play an instrument once, and it was lovely. Hasn't been back in a long time. It's always been like this, and we shouldn't break these rules, ever. I'll never forget that time she talked to me. Whenever I take 2 steps to the left, I get a nice look at her back. She wore a white dress and she had blonde hair. I don't know if she ever turns around, but I hadn't seen her do it before. That day was different, though. I took 3 steps to the left and bumped into her. I messed up. Sure, but that didn't mean she had to say something. She turned around and said, "Watch where you're going." Even when we talk to the guy, we always say the same thing. That's not what she says. This was different. The guy showed up the next day. He seemed confused. He stood in her spot. He went inside, then came back out, then stood there again. He tried talking to me. I wonder where Samson is. I don't even know who that is, but that's what I say. I don't want to vanish.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the end.
Yeah?
It's a good one.
Some
NPC action there. Yeah.
Trapped in a life of monotony and singing.
Static rhythms.
I like the idea that they have a free conscience, but they know not to break the rules.
Yeah. It reminds me of a story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool.
I like it.
Man, a lot of deep thought there. You always wonder about the life of NPCs and how they're just sort of tortured to stand in one spot.
Right. They're just a loop.
Yeah, man.
Makes you wonder if we're just a loop.
I know, right? I know. Some people are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
not,
true.
though.
I'm pretty spontaneous.
My life is just a series of
shits
emergency
and farts.
shits and trying to get places on time. It's never routine.
No.
And I love living life that way, you know?
Yeah. I was talking to someone this past Friday night, and he was like, I have very specific bedtime rituals. I have to have things in a certain place before I can go to sleep. And I'm like, man, sometimes I wake up and I don't know where I put my glasses. I don't know where my wallet is. I have no idea where my keys are. I just kind of...
You're in a yard?
I just put things where I think they should go in the moment.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like if I get in a routine that
I'll have a fear of breaking it, and I don't want that fear. That's me.
No.
That's me.
For me, I just feel like then there's no more excitement in my life, and I'll just die bored.
Yeah.
I like the thrill of not being able to find my car keys before an important meeting.
It's pretty interesting, right?
You know, feel alive every now and then.
You get a little rush.
Sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be organized.
Yeah, leave your keys in your car. Lock them in there.
Yeah, man. I'm a scatterbrain 100%. And I kind of dig it, you know?
Yeah, just open up your airplane tickets and just throw them into the wind.
Yeah, see what happens.
See what happens.
Live life a little bit. Be irresponsible. Okay. All right, this next one is about The Sims.
Oh, baby.
And these are written as if they are posts on a forum. Okay?
Okay.
So this is post number 1, dated March 16, 2010. A few years back. Did anyone else play The Sims when they were young? It was such a fantastic game. Wasn't it fun to have a wife, husband, kids, a job, and a jacuzzi in your bedroom? Good times. Anyway, I have this weird problem with my game, and I was hoping one of you guys could solve it. So I recently got the game off eBay for a few bucks, and there weren't that many bidders, and I was willing to pay a lot to bring an old childhood memory, or to buy an old childhood memory. After I installed the game, I immediately launched it, and after playing the tutorial to remind me of the game's controls, I made a sim. I called him David, and I gave him the Cancer personality, you know, the old sign, Cancer.
Yeah.
Then I moved him into a lot, and I made him a cute little bungalow and gave him a job in the medical career. And on the 7th sim day, I finally got him to marry a sim named Truce, Truce. Things are going well. And by the 11th sim day, my sim had 2 children, Matt and Lisa. On the 15th day, David was at work and the kids were in school, and Truce was the only one in the house, and her hunger levels were low, so I decided to make her cook dinner. Just as she was cooking, David arrived, and he went over to his wife to greet her. Next thing you know, the oven was on fire. Upon being set alight, the flames instantly spread and engulfed Truce. By the time the firemen arrived, Truce was already just a pile of ash.
Oh.
After the firemen extinguished the flames, a box came up saying that Truce died in the fire. I was frustrated by this, but I carried on with my game. Strangely, instead of doing the obvious things, such as taking a shower, cooking a meal, etc., in free will state, all he would do was mourn. Of course, if I were to command him to do something, he would do it, but then he would go straight back to mourning. The kids didn't do the same thing, and by the time it was night, I sent all my Sims to bed. A little after midnight, I heard David scream. I set the game to normal speed and went up to him. He was in bed, tossing and turning, and he was still doing that horrible scream. I set him as my active sim to check his activity. Instead of showing a picture of a bed and the word sleep, there was a picture of his wife. When I highlighted the picture, the word truce came up. I tried to cancel it, but I couldn't do anything other than watch him scream in his sleep. I haven't seen this before, and I was puzzled regardless. I felt bad for him. I mean, he lost his wife. It's a natural thing to see him do this. Well, in real life, that would be true, but this is The Sims, not real life. If any of you guys have ever encountered this problem or have a solution, please contact me. Post 2, the next day. Thanks for the feedback, but none of your suggestions have worked. The same thing happened today, mourning all day and then screaming all night. I have also noticed that when my sim is in nightmare state, his fun, comfort, social bar always plummet. I've also sent the guy who gave me the copy a private message, but he hasn't replied. I'll keep searching for solutions. You guys do the same, and let me know what you find. We might find one that works. Thanks. Post 3, 2 days later. Okay, after this post, I'm closing the topic. I can't take any more of this. So on the 18th day, he woke up and just sort of stood there, just twitching and shaking. His mood bars were static, but when I commanded him to do something, the game would instantly cancel the activity. When the time hit 10 o'clock, he started walking. 10 p.m., he started walking. When I say walk, I mean he would stumble awkwardly as if he was freezing cold or being watched. He went up to Matt, grabbed him. He screamed in horror as David dragged him out of his bedroom and threw him on the bed. My eyes widened as I saw David pull out a kitchen knife. He pounded Matt, started swinging the blade back and forth into Matt's chest. Blood was being spattered in all directions, and you could see David pulling Matt's intestines out. Matt's scream was now but a faint mumble. David stood up from the bed as Matt's body twitched and bled. Suddenly, I realized about Lisa. When I activated her, the plumb bob went to the cupboard, and the activity said that she was hiding. I saw David go for the cupboard, and he paused. Then the screen went black and my game crashed. My desktop background had changed to pictures of Matt and Lisa, which were in black and white. I'm going to install the game now, and I want to thank everyone for their suggestions. I'm not sure whether I can play a Sims game again.
Damn.
Man.
It's dark.
True crime.
I love it.
True crime.
True crime and haunting and stuff.
Killing his own family.
Out
Couldn't
of
handle
grief.
it anymore.
Out of grief.
Out of grief.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know.
Damn.
We don't know if Lisa survived. Well, I guess Lisa didn't. She was on the
Black and white picture.
black and white picture.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I would have liked that one better without the black and white picture bit.
You think?
Yeah. I like the idea that the game did this and like it wasn't like the computer doing anything. You know. Like
Good point.
The,
Good point.
The game crashes and then you're just left with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of jumps the shark with the
little bit.
affecting the desktop.
Speaking of jump the shark, I've got another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready for this?
You okay?
All right. So I'm not going to give you any. I don't need to set up anything. It'll become apparent what this is about very quickly.
Good.
Once I wanted to play Mario, but didn't have a Nintendo for it, and I was at a flea market. This old man I saw had Mario and an NES, but the label was not there. The man said it was owned by a dead kid named Jim. I just said whatever because I was eager to play Mario on my new NES. I plugged it in and everything seemed normal. I played World 1-1 and did it. Then I tried the old warp pipe trick. When I got to the pipes, instead of the usual text that said, "Welcome to the warp zone," it said, "Welcome to the scary hell place."
Whoa.
I thought that was weird. I said, whatever, and I used the farthest pipe. The intro screen showed the words Death World 6-6-6.
Oh man, that one's not in my version.
The graphics seemed off and it sounded like screams happened from the game. It was super scary. But I wasn't scared and kept playing. After a while, I hit a place that was impossible to pass because of spikes, so I had to die. I kept trying until my lives were at 0. I thought it was game over, but Mario came back, and this time it looked like his face was bloody. As I started playing the level, it turned into a hidden cloud level, and it looked like Mario had angel wings. A spooky digital voice came out of the Nintendo, and it sounded like it said, "No hope." As I was about to grab a mushroom, the screen went black. I reset the NES and the game came up. This time the title screen was different, and Mario's face was bloody. It scared me so much that I reset it again. As it came on, the digital voice said, "You can't run from the funk."
The funk.
The screen was hyper-realistic, and it showed Mario again, only this time his face was me, and my family's faces were skeletons. It was so realistic, I couldn't believe it. I was compelled to try the game again. This time, I started it, and the first Goomba walked towards Mario. Mario turned toward the screen and started screaming, "No mas! No mas!" It sounded like high-quality CD audio, also blast processing. I screamed and turned off the game. I put it away. Later that week, I noticed my family acting distantly. I decided to research Mario games, and I found out that Mario was in a secret game that was only released in 2 arcades on Friday the 13th on June 6, 1997. It seemed weird, so I started playing video games again. I decided to put in the Mario game again. I loaded it up and saw my save file. I clicked it, and Mario said, "Why are you no stop playing my game?" I didn't take this warning, and I played anyway. I got to Bowser, and I won. But when I got to Peach, there was a Toad there instead, and he said, "Peach is dead." Then a ghost face came up, and it had a lady's face, and Princess Peach is a lady. I reset the game for the last time. I opened up my save file, and it changed for my name. It said, Jim died, bro. Then my mom walked in and she screamed. I was dead the whole time. And guess what? My name was Jim.
Oh, no.
So anyway, I don't know if any of you guys have experienced anything like that. It might have just been a bad dream. And anyway, my mom said the cartridge at a yard sale, so I don't have it anymore. But you should believe it because it's true.
Because it's true. All right. Well, that was fun.
That was a good one.
Little trolly.
That was a little very trolly.
I liked it, though.
Yeah, I liked it too.
It's good to put a little
humor in it.
little Evil Dead in there, you know?
Yeah.
A little Bruce Campbell action.
Well,
that was fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
good times.
How much time we got here? What are we doing? What are we
Well, I
pushing?
mean, let's see. Let's check the time. We're at 59 minutes.
You think I got time for one little
Do one more. Do
Close
one
it
more.
out on another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine was super goofy, so this one better be super scary.
I don't know about super, but it's a good time.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, this one's called The Perfect Video Game.
Ooh.
Okay. I heard rumors about a video game console released in the early 90s that promised the most immersive games imaginable. It bore a strong resemblance to the Super Nintendo, except it had no cartridge slot, no reset button, and only one controller port. It was released in an extremely low quantity. It's possible that less than 50 were available. People I talked to who remembered it from their childhood only mentioned the first game in the list. Other games were included on the console, but this one was, they say, the perfect game. Lifelike graphics and sound, even by today's standards, an endless supply of new, fun content, solid gameplay. The controls were responsive to the point of precognition, they recall. And the single controller port was all that was necessary. The NPCs in the game were considered smart enough to be just as entertaining as real people.
Mm.
It was quite literally a game nobody wanted to stop playing, and the people I interviewed all remarked, somewhat bitterly, that their parents forcibly dragged them away from the television set after a few days of continuous playing and threw the console in the trash.
Ooh.
I was intrigued by what I knew so far, so I went looking for more people who remembered this relic of gaming history. I searched high and low for anybody besides the handful of people I had already talked to, and, after a month of painstaking investigation, I found 2 independent accounts. They had a much harder time remembering the specifics of the console, but I was able to jog their memory by repeating what I had in my notes. I could see their eyes light up a little, remembering the perfect game, but both of them said, "That's not all it could do." Both of them said the interface was complete, and I inquired what exactly they meant. After a few days, apparently, the game started having a positive psychological effect. It was as if the actions done in-game were giving the player exercise, and the player was able to go without food and water, seemingly drawing sustenance through items collected in the levels. However, after a couple of days, they had played this game continuously for a week at this point, they started feeling the damage done to their in-game player character. The pain was small at first, and only a slightly forceful reminder to be more attentive. After a short while, though, the pain started getting intense, and the weariness of the contestant action was taking its toll on them. The game was still perfect. It was better than any high you can imagine, one of them said, but it was becoming physically exhausting to play, and they couldn't tear themselves away from it. I was almost done with one level, and I was fighting a boss that used a whip, one interviewee said. I remember the whip was a one-hit kill. I had to start the level over, but I remember the searing pain where it lashed me across the arm. He then unbuttoned the sleeve on his shirt, and I could see a scar twisting around his arm. Yeah, it was getting that bad. Both of them said their parents returned to the house 9 days into the marathon game session and forcibly dragged them away from the console and took them to the emergency room. The console was gone when they got back home, thrown away like all the others. I could not find any other people who even knew what I was talking about. The rumors had stopped there, and I was left with incomplete knowledge about where I could even find one of these consoles. A sense of dread settled in the back of my mind, though, and I felt it was necessary to pore through newspaper archives from that period. I was trying all sorts of variations on bootleg console in an online database search, and what I finally stumbled upon was shocking. There were 15 separate incidents of people found dead in their homes sitting in front of their TVs with a bootleg-looking console hooked up to it. They had a butchered appearance, and most commonly with some found in pieces, and autopsies revealed that the internal organs had dissolved. One article remarked that the TV was just displaying static, and they could not get the console to power on. Local officials tried contacting the manufacturer of the console, but the owner's manual and the information on a sticker on the back of the console both referenced an address that led to the site of a warehouse demolished over 80 years ago.
Damn. Super creep.
Yep.
Super creep.
I'm really glad that video games, VR is not to the point where I can actually feel the pain.
I mean, they make little vests and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, feel some impact, sure, some haptic feedback, but I don't want to get whipped in the face.
No, I do not want to feel that shit.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Not at all. Often wondered how, even smell could be transmitted through. I feel like that would be nothing sells an ambiance better than smell.
I agree.
But some of the places I've been in video games, I don't know if I want to smell that.
Yeah.
I might want to smell a Kirby level, maybe a Toad's Treasure Tracker, florally, green.
Definitely don't want to smell like a Diablo game or Doom or
definitely
something.
Not Doom. Also,
I've always thought
Evil Within.
Yeah, that would be gross. Lots of blood. Ooh. But see, I've always had this idea that you should have games should come with a multi-layered candle that you burn.
Okay.
That would time up with start this when you start the level, and by the time that you get done, with that level, it would burn down to the next layer, and you get all these different smells as you play the game.
Just smell like gunpowder.
Yeah, lots of gunpowder. Rotting corpses, blood, brimstone. But I mean, that would be an easy thing to do, I think.
You think it would be good? You think it'd be easy to make a candle that smelled like flesh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think it would. I mean, they can do bacon, so it's basically flesh.
Maybe just make it bacon.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that'd be great. maybe that would be bad though, because then we would all tie the smell of
bacon to
dead
murder
people
and
to
death.
Bacon, and then we'd all be running around murdering each other.
That's how the zombie apocalypse is going to start.
Yeah, because we all wanted to eat each other's bacon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that does it.
It does it.
That was fun.
That was a good
Glad
time.
we did that, yeah. Maybe next time we'll solicit some stories. This is kind of harkens back to an off-kilter kind of thing, a little bit like that. But we got a lot of these from the internet, and unfortunately, I will say, I tried to read the names of the authors if they were available, but not all of them had names, unfortunately.
Yeah, a lot of people remain anonymous.
Yeah. But you can find these on creepypasta.wikia.com. There's plenty of them there if you want to read more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that pretty much does it, everybody. Thank you for checking us out. You can find us on Twitter at Polykill. I'm at Trav Plays Games.
I'm at the McAxle.
Together, we were at polykill.com. You can reach out to us at polykillpodcast@gmail.com to drop us a line or say hello and rate us where you hear us. Tell your mail person.
Tell your mail person.
And we'll catch you next time.
Peace out.